Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're diving into Anime Reborn Evolution and feeling overwhelmed by all the evolved units, don't worry, I've got you covered. Today we're talking about the ultimate evolved units tier list. You know how tough it is to gather materials in this game, right? And with only the rarest units capable of prestige, every choice you make counts. That's why I've ranked every evolved unit from best to worst, breaking it all down based on their raw base stats and passives. Oh, and don't worry, I'm leaving traits out of the equation here, so we're keeping it fair and balanced. So grab a snack, get comfy, and let's talk strategy. Whether you're trying to flex on your friends or dominate the toughest battles, this list is your go-to guide for evolving the right units. Trust me, you don't want to waste your precious resources on mid-tier characters when the top dogs are out there waiting for you. Let's jump into it and find out who's worth the grind and who's not. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking evolved units in Anime Reborn. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching. The evolved units in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Pain Chibaku. Alright, let's talk about Pain Chibaku. You know, the kind of unit that makes you go, wait, was it worth it? Don't get me wrong, Pain Chibaku isn't a total flop. I mean, it is a mythic unit, so it's got some power behind it. But if you're going to throw in all that effort and materials to evolve Pain into Chibaku, you might find yourself wondering if the juice is worth the squeeze. Sure, it's better than having no evolved unit at all, but honestly, it's like ordering a burger and realizing the fries are missing. Something just feels incomplete. Now, don't get me wrong, this guy has his moments. Pain Chibaku can still pack a punch in certain situations, but let's face it, compared to higher tier units, it's just not as exciting. It's like buying a ticket for a roller coaster and ending up on the kiddie ride. Sure, it's still moving, but is it thrilling? Not so much. If you're desperate for a stat boost and have resources burning a hole in your pocket, then go for it. But honestly, you might want to sit tight and save those materials for something that'll really make your team shine. The evolved units in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Super Gohu powered. Alright, let's talk about the solid performers, the B-tier evolved units in Anime Reborn. These are the ones that won't steal the spotlight, but they also won't leave you hanging. Think of them as your reliable backup dancers, not front and center, but still making the whole show work. If your A and S tier options are out of reach, these guys are a great fallback, holding their own with decent stats and some useful abilities. They're dependable and definitely worth a spot on your team when the higher tiers are out of the picture. Take Super Gohu Powered, for example. Evolving from the already solid Super Gohu, this mythic unit brings enough power to keep your battles interesting. It may not have the jaw-dropping stats or flashiness of S-tier units, but it's still a force to reckon with. Trust me, when you're building a team and need a good all-rounder to fill that last slot, units like Super Gohu Powered are exactly what you're looking for. It's like the underdog of the evolved unit world, quietly pulling its weight while you plot your next big move. The evolved units in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Lord Rimura, Broglio Rage, Hawkeye Warlord, and Itaha Bushi. Oh boy, let me tell you, if you're aiming for the creme de la creme but can't quite land those elusive S-tier units, don't sweat it, because the A-tiers in Anime Reborn are no joke. These evolved units might not have the godlike status of their S-tier counterparts, but trust me, they pack enough punch to carry you through some of the toughest content in the game. If you're playing smart and building around their strengths, these guys can be absolute game changers. Let's dive into the stars of this tier and see what makes them shine. First up, we've got Lord Rimura, who evolves from King Rimura. Honestly, this unit might make you rethink your whole strategy. With the Soul Absorption passive, every 5 eliminations give Rimura a 1% damage boost, maxing out at 12%. And it doesn't stop there. Demon Lord kicks in to reduce his SPA, seconds per attack, by 1% each wave, stacking up to a 7% decrease. Plus, every time he uses a special ability, his damage goes up by 2.5%, maxing at a whopping 25% boost. Lord Rimura is all about momentum. He gets stronger the longer he's in the game, making him perfect for late-game sweeps. Next, we've got the powerhouse Broglio Rage, evolved from Broglio. This guy's all about raw aggression. His legendary Rage passive increases his range by 1% with every attack, maxing at a solid 20% boost. But the real highlight here is Legendary Wrath, which ramps up his damage by 1% per attack, up to a ridiculous 50% boost. Imagine Broglio in a heated battle. Every attack is just making him angrier and deadlier. If you love the idea of an unstoppable juggernaut, Broglio Rage is your guy. Now, let's talk about Hawkeye Warlord, evolved from Hawkeye. If you've ever struggled with boss fights, this unit is a must-have. His passive, Warlord 2, deals a jaw-dropping 250% extra damage to bosses. Yeah, you heard that right, 250%. This guy is a one-man boss-killing machine. You drop him in and he's like, boss fight? Don't worry, I got this. Pair him with some crowd control units to handle the minions, and you're golden. Rounding out our A-tier lineup is Itaha Bushi, evolved from Itaha. This guy brings a whole new level of destruction with his Burning Carnage 2 passive. Every attack applies the Dark Flame status effect, burning enemies for 12.5% of his damage per tick over 4 ticks. Do the math, that's a lot of damage over time. He's especially devastating against tanky enemies that need to be whittled down quickly. Watching your enemies melt away in a sea of flames? Chef's kiss. So there you have it. 4 absolute legends that can carry you through the late game if you play your cards right. Whether it's Rimura stacking buffs, Brolio turning into an unstoppable beast, Hawkeye obliterating bosses, or Itaha burning everything in sight, these A-tier units prove that you don't need to have S-tiers to dominate Anime Reborn. Which of these units are you rocking in your lineup? Let me know in the comments below, and hey, don't forget to smash that like button while you're at it. The evolved units in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, 21 Demon, Dragon Emperor Hybrid, Oda Samurai, and Greybeard Sea Emperor. Alright, let's get right into it. Today we're talking about the absolute best evolved units in Anime Reborn that you absolutely need to grab if you want to dominate the battlefield. These units don't just bring the damage, they bring the powerhouse abilities that will make your team unstoppable. If you're looking to evolve and take things to the next level, you've come to the right place. Let's kick things off with 21 Demon, an evolution from the already strong 21. This secret unit is a game changer. It has a passive called Natural Vision, which gives it 120% more range, allowing you to strike from a distance while staying safe. But that's not all. The Together We Shine passive gives the first 10 units within its range an additional +15% range, making it the ultimate support unit to buff your other heroes. Whether you're launching a full-blown assault or just setting up for the long game, this unit can do it all. Next up, we've got Dragon Emperor Hybrid. Evolving from the Dragon Emperor, this secret unit brings a unique playstyle to the table. Its first passive, Sea Emperor, boosts its damage, range, and SPA by 0.5% every wave, up to a +5% increase. You'll see the power build as the rounds go on, and that's when this unit really starts to shine. But the cherry on top is Dragon's Will, which reduces the special ability cooldowns of other units by 15%. That means your other powerful units get to use their ultimate abilities even more often, making this a must-have in any lineup. Now, we're diving into the mythic territory with Oda Samurai, an evolution of the Oda unit. This one is a real beast. Samurai Spirit 2 is what makes Oda Samurai truly lethal. For every friendly unit within its range, it gains +4% crit chance and crit damage, stacking up to a whopping 40%. This makes Oda Samurai a perfect choice for team-based strategies, as the more units around him, the stronger his attacks become. If you're looking to melt through waves of enemies in no time, this unit will do the job. And let's not forget about Greybeard Sea Emperor. This mythic unit is an absolute legend. Strongest Man Alive gives him a +1% damage boost each wave, stacking up to +20%. This means that with each passing wave, Greybeard becomes a bigger and bigger threat. But the real kicker here is Tremor. After every 30 eliminations, Greybeard's next attack stuns enemies. Talk about crowd control, you'll be able to freeze your enemies in their tracks while dealing massive damage, which is perfect for shutting down tough opponents. These evolved units aren't just strong on paper, they bring massive utility and synergy to your team. 21 Demon is great for range support and buffs, while Dragon Emperor Hybrid takes control of the battlefield by reducing cooldowns and boosting its own stats. Oda Samurai rewards you for building a strong team around him, while Greybeard Sea Emperor is a reliable damage dealer who can control large groups of enemies with his stuns. If you're planning your evolution strategy, these units should be at the top of your list. They're not just your typical strong units, they're game changers that will evolve with you, boosting your team's potential as you push through those tough rounds. So don't sleep on these guys. Start evolving them and watch your enemies crumble. In summary, if you want to dominate in Anime Reborn, these evolved units are your ticket to victory. They bring the kind of power, range, and abilities that'll make sure your team is ready for anything. Make sure you prioritize them when you're planning your evolutions, and you'll see just how quickly they can turn the tide of battle in your favor. Happy evolving! The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.